We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel that dangles stupidity off a building by its ankles, makes it beg for its life and still drops it anyway. Today I'm going to have a discussion with a flat earther called Rightthehand, who has been talking up an absolute storm on Discord. I'll just let you introduce yourself, Rightthehand. Say hello to the folks.
What up? I'm Rightthehand.
Okay, might as well just get into it. What shapes the Earth?
I don't know. I haven't seen the whole thing with my own eyes, so if I declared anything, it would be a faith-based argument.
No, that's not how faith works. That's called a genetic fallacy.
So how does faith work then? What is faith?
Well, faith isn't really important in a discussion in science because I don't have any faith. I have data that leads me to conclusions, and that's the thing that I think we should talk about. Faith is better left for something like religion, which the shape of the Earth is certainly not. So we're not going to sit here and talk about semantics of faith and this and that. We're going to go with the accepted definitions of things, and you're going to provide me evidence as to why you don't think the Earth is the shape that we say it is.
Okay, well, my argument is that your entire basis for the model of your Earth is based on faith, and I could prove that.
No, sorry, you're wrong. Faith isn't involved in this conversation. I will talk about. I will only talk about data and conclusions that come from that data. Faith isn't something that's included because science doesn't require faith. Frankly, science doesn't give a fuck about faith or your feelings. Science only gives a fuck about data and conclusions. So we're going to leave faith out of this, and you are going to tell me why, with actual evidence, that you don't think the Earth is flat. We're not going to talk about semantics and what people think. We're going to talk about the actual shape of the Earth.
Okay, so when you say you have data, if I was given a book of data from an unknown source, and then I believe that data, would that be faith or scientific evidence?
Well, if that data comported with reality, which all the data regarding the globe Earth model does, then no faith is required because you just see that it comports with reality and you make predictions based on that. Okay, sorry, so but faith doesn't... No, you're not talking over me. This is my channel, and we are not going to talk about faith. We are going to talk about the shape of the planet. So, please present me some evidence that the Earth is not a globe.
You're jumping ahead.
No, I'm not. I'm not. No, you will answer questions here. There is no talk about faith and semantics. We are going to talk... No. And we're not talking about faith. I don't care if you want to prove faith or not. I would like you to give some evidence of the shape of the Earth.
I'm not proving faith in general. I'm proving that all of what you say is evidence for the globe Earth is faith.
Well, no. Sorry, I've just explained that I don't have faith. I have data.
I know you explained it. You have data.
So now we're going to move on. No. We're going to move on from that, and you are going to present some evidence for the shape of the Earth. That's why you're here.
You have faith.
No, because that's not why we're here. We're talking with no. I don't.
We're here to disprove the globe.
I do not have. Right. I'm talking. I do not have faith. Okay. In so much as I don't. When I'm talking, you don't. Shut up. Be quiet, or I'll just mute you and carry on talking. Okay. Right. I don't have faith in so much as I don't have faith that 1 + 1 is 2. I just know it is because that is where the evidence leads me. Okay, 1 + 1 is 2. I don't need faith for that because it is a fact. In the same way, FG equals GM1 M2 over R squared is a fact because it's a mathematical thing that is comporting with reality. So I don't need faith because I know it works. Faith is not required. Now let's move on, and you please present some evidence for the shape of the planet.
Okay, so when you say that you don't have faith,
no, so we're not talking about faith.
No. I'm gonna show you.
No, because I'm not talking about faith. I would like you to present some. Let's move on with the conversation now. No, let's move on with the conversation, and you present some evidence, please.
Okay, here's my evidence. When you say that time dilation is real, You have no evidence, and it is
Wrong.
faith.
There is experimental evidence of time
Okay,
dilation.
so hold on. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Have you done these experiments?
No, but that is called the genetic fallacy.
Okay. No, wait. No, that's called the faith in other people's experiments.
No, it's not. That's called genetic fallacy, and that's not how it works. And that is not how science works. You no, you do not overtalk me. You do not attempt to interrupt me. I am in charge here. Is that clear? Okay?
Sure.
Thank you. So, no, there is no faith. There is evidence. Okay? And we are not going to sit here and talk about semantics. Time dilation is backed up by experimental evidence that has been verified with peer review by the scientific community. I don't have faith because these things are all facts. Okay? I don't need faith to understand that when an experiment is done using the proper data and methodology, that is going to reach a conclusion. No faith is required because the methodology and the data is there to give me what I need. No faith is required, insomuch as I don't need faith for 1 add 1 equals 2. Now, stop trying to attack the semantics of the argument and present some evidence as for why you don't think the Earth is a globe. And that does not mean you attack the globe. No, I haven't finished. One sec. That doesn't mean that you attack the globe. That means that you present some positive evidence for your stance. Okay? Go.
Okay, so when it comes to you not performing the experiments themselves are not what require faith, okay? Where your faith comes in is not in the experiments themselves, but when you start accepting the people that told you them.
No.
Okay, so yes, even if let me finish. Even if the date, see, what you're doing is you're connecting, you're saying 1 + 1 = 2, therefore when I look up into the sky, time dilation is real. That's not how math works. I can see 1 + 1. I can't see time dilation. So if you want to show me
there is experimental evidence. There is experimental evidence for it. Doesn't matter if I did it or not. That's not how science works.
I can do what? No, I can. Yes, that is how science works.
No, it's not.
Hold on, let me finish. If I said I did an
experiment, I'm going to ask you once again. No, because stop. I'll mute you. Right, because you're just going around on the same point, and I've told you we're not going to have this conversation about faith.
You're avoiding the point of faith.
No,
because
I'm not here for a conversation about faith. Okay, I'm here for a conversation about the shape of the planet. Now, again,
you're denying your faith in the shape of the planet.
No, there's no faith in. There's no faith. I don't have faith. I can look at data, and I can verify that data. Now, once again,
how do you verify time dilation? How do you verify time dilation?
With experimental data and the fact that GPS works.
No, GPS has nothing to do with time dilation.
Actually, you're very, very wrong because time dilation plays a big factor in how GPS works. The fact is that your GPS system has to
prove time dilation right now.
Let me talk. Okay, your experimental data has already presented sufficient evidence to show that time dilation is correct. Now, GPS uses time dilation because your actual GPS system has to take into account the difference in speed and time because of the speed that the satellites are moving above you. So GPS system wouldn't work if Einstein's predictions around time dilation because of general relativity weren't a thing. Now, we can...
Okay, hold on, wait.
I haven't finished. We can talk about the other experimental evidence for time dilation. There has been I managed to bring up at least 7. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Yes,
that is not how science works. No,
but you haven't. You have to do it.
Is that all you're going to do? Is that all you're going to do? If you're just going to say genetic fallacy over and over, then
let me get 5 seconds to get a thought out. Give me 10 seconds to speak.
As long as you're not going to say nonsense.
No, just your entire everything that you believe is not based on anything that you have done, but it is based on what you have been told. That's faith.
I have done plenty of physics experiments in my time to understand that the physics that we are presented with in the world is correct. I don't have faith. When I am talking, you will stop interrupting me. Okay, no, I haven't done any experiments myself in regarding time dilation. However, there's no faith, but I can look at the math. No.
But you have to accept.
There is no faith. No, because
faith comes when you accept the source of the data as true. You haven't done the experiment, so you have to accept their data as true.
No.
That's the faith part.
No.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not, because I can do the math myself and see that it works out. Now, once again, right the hand. Right the hand. Now, shut up. You don't need to slow time down. Now, shut up and listen. We are going. No, I said shut up. Right. I'll mute you. I'm going to mute you. If you don't stop over talking me, all right? We are going to move away from the conversation about faith because that is not why I am here. Yes, we are.
It is. It is.
No,
It
no.
is because you have faith.
No.
You
Right.
have faith, and I'm proving.
No, we are not talking about that. Next.
Talk about your proof. You're
No.
going to validate your proof through a
No,
demonstrable.
right, and then let's get one thing very clear
You're not
here.
going to just say,
Shut.
"I trust other
I'm just going to mute you if you don't stop talking. All right. Let's get one thing very clear here. I do not have the burden of proof about anything. I have the entire scientific consensus behind me. I have what is accepted as reality.
No, you have
Shh. I'm talking. I have evidence that I can personally verify that the maths and physics that we are shown works in the universe around us. I have the scientific consensus. I do not have the burden of proof. If you are here to talk about the shape of the planet, then you need to present some positive evidence for your stance. And that does not include talking about faith or talking about what you think about time dilation is. That means that you present some evidence for the flat earth. And that does not mean attacking my model. That means presenting evidence for yours.
You don't have a model. You have faith, and I'm showing you.
No, a mathematical model is something that can make accurate predictions, and it does.
How
Now,
do you know that the math is real?
because
How do you know that the math
I've
of
done
orbital mechanics
calculate
is true?
because I've done
But you've never done orbital
stop
mechanics.
over talking around me, okay?
But you're not letting me speak a sentence.
That's because you're talking nonsense, and I am not having the conversation around faith. Now you present some evidence for your model, please.
You have asserted that when I look at you, hon.
No, right. I'm going to ask you once more, all right? The conversation about the conversation about faith stops now. End of.
But it is.
No. Shut up.
Right.
Right.
Yes, you have faith.
No, I'm going to mute. If you say faith once more, I will just mute you. All right? Because the conversation about faith is ending right now.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Mute, and I will talk over you if you don't just shush. Because the conversation about faith is not happening. You please present some evidence for the Earth not being flat, not being round, or you don't have anything to go on. Okay? You cannot say I don't have a model because the globe model is perfectly accurate, and I have personally verified the equation, the Newton's gravitational law of attraction, which is a massive part of orbital mechanics. Just because I haven't gone to space myself and done orbital mechanics does not mean anything, because that is not how science works and is called a genetic fallacy if you're trying to include it in an argument. Now, for the last time, can you please present me with some positive evidence for the Earth being flat? Go.
Hold on. Let me establish something.
No, there's no establishing. I have just asked you a direct question.
No, we haven't. Okay, so if I look at a stoplight, okay, and the light is
If you say
going
faith,
red,
I'm going to talk over you. Just get it clear, right?
Okay. So if I see a stoplight and I see it going red, yellow, green, right? If after it goes red, yellow, I can predict the next color, correct?
Yes.
From that prediction, can I figure out what's causing the light to illuminate?
That's not the point.
But that is the point, because that's what you're doing when you look up at the sky.
No, not at all.
Absolutely. You declare that you see these lights.
Now, once again, you're not presenting some evidence. You're not presenting any evidence for your model. You are attacking my model.
I don't have a model. No, I'm attacking.
Well, I'm sorry, but right, if you have to have a model. Well, if you don't have a model, then you can't claim the Earth isn't a globe, because we have a model that works, and you can't say anything other than that.
No, you don't have a model.
Yes, we do.
And your faith.
No, there's no faith in math. There's no faith in math. The math works because it's been verified with experimental.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not having your bullshit. Look, no, right, stop talking, and I will explain what's happening right now. No. I will talk, and then I will give you 5 seconds. All right. I have listened to your entire 4-hour debate with Planner Walk, and I have read countless responses from you. I have listened to other things that you have been on. All you have is saying faith, time dilation, genetic fallacy. That's not going to work here. All right. When I say positive evidence, I mean something that I can then go out and verify myself to show that the Earth isn't a globe, because I can give you some evidence that you are able to go and verify yourself. Okay. There's no faith involved in that because it's something that can go and be verified. The equations around orbital mechanics have been verified. The main equation, Fg equals gm1m2 over r squared, I have personally verified myself with countless physics experiments. And you know what? So has every single high school student in the UK and probably America. I don't really know how their education system works. So we are not going to argue semantics about what you think is and isn't a correct argument. We are here to present positive evidence for our stance on what we think the world is. I can present positive evidence for it being a globe. Now, please, for the last time, present some positive evidence for the Earth being flat.
You're not providing positive evidence
I've
for the Earth being globe.
no.
You're not letting me finish. You're not letting me finish. You have to let me talk, man.
Only if you present positive evidence. That's all I'm after.
No, just let me speak. Just let me speak. Because what you're doing is you're saying I'm being you now. You're saying I haven't presented any evidence. Somebody else has.
That doesn't matter.
Cause. Here's the thing. No. Wait. Here's the thing. No. Here's the key part. The key part is the faith in where the source. Okay. So because something falls and follows the math, that doesn't mean the math came from the source they're saying. It doesn't mean that the origin of the math.
That's not important.
Hold on, let me finish. Yes, it is. Because what you're doing is you're claiming the math proves the origin.
No, I'm not. I'm saying the math has predictive capabilities.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
So does red, yellow, green. So does red, yellow, green. But predictive abilities does not let you determine causation.
Okay, you're getting conflated with what a model is. So
prediction is nothing but pattern recognition.
No, that's not
yes,
right.
You are recognizing a pattern, and here's the thing: you haven't even looked at the sky to determine the pattern. It was told to you in advance. And
sorry, I've personally done navigation with a sextant. I have looked at the sky to verify where I'm going and stuff.
It doesn't prove the cause of the sky.
Now, let me again make this.
Hold on, I need to interrupt. Craig, can you turn your microphone down about halfway and maybe try to boost him up?
Yeah, I'll turn him up and turn mine down. Right, now, I am going to make this very clear once more, Rightthehand. I don't have the burden of proof. Whether you think that's true or not isn't the point.
You're making claims.
No, I'm not making claims.
Make a claim.
No,
yes, you are. You're claiming the sky is
Stop talking over me. Stop talking.
All
right? I'm not making claims. I have the scientific consensus. That is not a claim.
You have faith in them.
No.
You have faith in the scientific consensus.
Whether you say it's faith or not isn't important. I have the scientific.
Oh, we're getting somewhere.
We're not having a conversation about faith. Now, once again, I'm going to ask you this again. No, we're not, because I'm going to ask you this once again.
Then end the conversation with you not wanting to talk about your faith in space.
Because I'm not talking about faith, because I want to talk about the shape of the planet.
But you are.
Right,
you look
at the hand.
Hold on. You look at the sky.
Right. I've muted him just so I can talk to you guys right now. I'd like to point out what's happening is that as any flat earther does, he is refusing to answer any question. If he wants me to present positive evidence for the globe, I can do that, and I will do that for him once he has presented me with some positive evidence for the Earth being flat. I'm going to unmute him now, and I'm going to ask him to present some positive evidence for the flat Earth. I don't want him to talk about faith, and I don't want him to talk about what he thinks science is. I want to go with the accepted definitions of what everything is and what everyone understands, and for him, based on that, to present me with some positive evidence. The faith aspect is not being discussed here because that's not important, and I am not here for that conversation. Now, I'm going to unmute him, and I'm going to ask him for positive evidence of the Earth being flat. Rightthehand, please present me with some positive evidence for the Earth being flat.
If you can look at the sky and see lights in the sky and declare it orbital mechanics, why can't I declare it?
That's not positive evidence.
Hold on. But this is what you're doing. Your evidence is, okay, so you say you have evidence.
Yes, I have plenty of evidence, and I can present it whenever I want, but I would like you to present some evidence for the opposing view first.
Let me speak. What if your evidence is bullshit?
Well, I can back it up, so that's not the point here.
Okay, so can we? Oh, but I don't think you can. So what I would like to do is I would like to attack your bullshit, and you're trying to protect it.
No, because
if you're so sure of it, let's go over it.
No, first of all, I'd like you to present positive evidence for the Earth being flat.
No. Here's the here. No.
That's what's going to happen here.
We're having a conversation. No, we're having a conversation.
The conversation. Yes, and for that, I would like you to present some positive evidence about the Earth being flat.
Evidence is how bad your evidence is.
No, that's not how. I'm afraid that's not how that works.
And I have a better argument. Yeah, it is, because what you're doing is you're looking up at the sky. You're saying red, green, yellow. Now I can determine. Yes. How is?
Okay. No. Right. I'm gonna mute him again because he's just going around in a loop. I think he's like on a broken loop or something. He needs to see an IT specialist. All right. He is just constantly trying to shift the burden of proof onto me, and as I as I have explained to him and to everyone else, I'm not making claims. I am backing up the scientific consensus. The scientific consensus is on my side. I do not have the burden of proof. The burden of proof is with the person that is trying to say something against the scientific consensus and the accepted model. It's quite clear this guy doesn't understand what a model is. So once again, I'm going to unmute him and ask him for some positive evidence of the shape of the Earth being flat. And that does not include attacking my model or saying that my model is bullshit, because that is not how you present an argument. Once he has presented some evidence for me, we will discuss that, and then I will present some evidence for him, and we can discuss that. Rightthehand, please present some positive evidence for the shape of the Earth.
Okay. How am I supposed to present anything if we're not allowed to go over anything?
Well, like, give me some positive evidence, and we'll go over it.
Here, I got something. Who is the burden of proof on? The person making the claim they saw the Loch Ness Monster, or the people to prove he's lying?
Stop shifting burden of proof, because
no, that's not. No, right. I'm asking you a question. I'm not talking about anything space related. This is a question about the Loch Ness Monster. Who is the burden of proof?
The scientific consensus is that the Loch Ness Monster doesn't exist. So the burden of proof on someone claiming to have seen the Loch Ness Monster is upon that person.
We're not talking about scientific consensus, because we're talking about popularity.
Right. Once again, that's not how popular. I'm going to mute him because he keeps talking over me. Right. So once again, guys, as you can see, all he's trying to do is shift the burden of proof. I am just trying to get from him some positive evidence for what he claims the Earth to be. Now, that doesn't mean talking semantics or attacking my model. Once again, I'm going to ask him to present some positive evidence. I hope you guys are paying attention as to what's going on here. Please present me some positive evidence for the shape of the Earth being flat.
What you're doing is you're protecting your model. That's what you're doing.
No, I can defend my model however much I want, but what I want from you is evidence on your side.
You're saying it's popularity. You're saying popularity makes it true. You're saying because everyone accepts it, it's true. That's when you
let me talk to you right now. All right. Scientific consensus isn't popularity. Scientific consensus is when you have things that are peer-reviewed and verified. That is not popularity. I can tell you right now that most of the people that are scientists were not popular back in school. All right, it's nothing to do with popularity. Scientific consensus is what happens when a model is verified, when actual people do things to verify what has been said and what is going on. All the evidence and the data and the experiments back up that particular thing. The scientific consensus is not the thing that is going to be argued with here. I have the scientific consensus behind my model. That cannot be disputed. You are the one with the burden of proof, and you can't present any evidence for the Earth being flat. All you can do is try and say, "Nuh-uh, that's not right because I don't understand." Now,
why don't you have to prove why do you have no burden of proof?
Because that's not how burden of proof works. Burden of proof is
on the person making the claim.
Again,
right?
I'm not making a claim. I'm talking about the scientific consensus.
You're claiming Polaris is but that's a claim.
No,
you're claiming that Polaris and the star. Yes, when you say you agree with the scientific. Yeah, let me finish. When you say you agree with the scientific consensus, what you're doing is you're making a claim for the scientific consensus to me that when I look up in the sky, I'm seeing gas giants of stars. So if you want to assert that, you need to back it up with something more than predictions, because predictions is nothing but red, yellow, green. Green.
The thing is, I can back up everything that I say. The flat Earth cannot back anything up.
You're backing it up with.
Why do you keep avoiding a question?
Why do you avoid it?
Listen. This is what's going to happen. I will answer any of your questions after.
But you haven't done anything.
Shut up. Please shush and listen to me. Right. This is what's going to happen.
All you are is a Google search. That's all you can do.
Right. I'm going to mute him again because he doesn't know how to have a conversation. Right. So, right. What's going to happen here is I'm going to ask him to present some evidence, and then I will answer questions about that. I'll give him some questions about that evidence. After that, he can ask me any questions about the globe model. But the first thing that I would like him to do is present me with just one tiny bit of positive evidence for what he says, without talking semantics or trying to talk about what I think is faith and what the scientific consensus is. Everybody here knows exactly what burden of proof is and what the scientific consensus is. So I'm not here to have a conversation and an argument about semantics. Now, I'm going to unmute you, and I would like you to just present me with one positive evidence for your stance. Go.
Okay, so burden of proof is on the person making the claim.
No, that's not what I asked you. Why can't you?
But I'm asking you that. So you're making a claim though, and what your excuse, Hun, your excuse for why you don't have to back it up is because you don't have. I didn't say Hun.
What did you say? Because that's the third time I've heard it, and it's come from the chat.
No, I'm not calling you Hun.
What are you saying?
I don't know what word you're talking about. Let me just finish.
No, again, we're not having the talk about burden of proof. Right? I just want. We can have that later.
Where is burden of?
We can have that later because I want you to present some evidence first.
It's the foundation.
Do you have any evidence for the shape of the Earth? Do you have
the foundation?
No. Do you have any evidence for the shape of the Earth being flat? Yes or no? Evidence that I can go and verify myself.
Yeah, you can look at it. It looks flat.
No, that I've verified that it's not flat.
No, yeah, but that is you can verify it by looking at it. That's what you do. You look at the sky, you verify it, but you're doing okay, hold on, wait. What is the difference between
you just said it again. What are you saying there? Hold on or
hold on. Yeah, maybe I'm saying hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
Right, okay, no.
Sorry.
Again.
What is the difference?
It looks flat.
Let me finish. What is
not a valid argument.
So what is the difference between it looks like orbital mechanics and it looks like it's flat? What's the difference between those?
One of them can be backed up, the other can't.
I can back up the Earth looking flat. I can 100% back it up. I can back it looking flat. You can look at it. It looks flat. I can back
I disagree that it looks flat. When I look at the Earth and the everything around it, I can tell based on what's going on that it's not flat. There wouldn't be horizon on a flat Earth.
You can see curve. You can see curve of the Earth from. You see the curve from ground level as the size of an ant. That's what you're telling me?
2 seconds. I'll go get you some right now. I'll go get you some right now. I'll go get you some right now.
Isn't the scientific consensus that you can't see the ball shape from that close to the ground?
I'm going to show you some curve right now. Hold on 2 seconds.
You're going to show me pictures and images. I can show you a picture of a unicorn. Does that mean a unicorn?
No, I'm going to show you a video that someone's actually made.
I can show you a video. I can show you a video of a unicorn.
Yes, but what I'm going to show you is something that you can go and verify yourself.
Scientific evidence.
It is evidence. It is evidence of something. We're not going to argue semantics.
No, it's not semantics.
Because you don't know what science is. All right.
No, well, what is science? Is it an umbrella term?
Wait. Hold on. All right, we're getting away from the fact that I asked you a question. We're
we're getting to the meat. No. We're getting to where your weakness.
Okay. Now, once again,
so
present some evidence. Your evidence of it looks flat. I can show you evidence that it isn't. I can show you
video of it being flat from a plane. I can show you video of it being flat from a weather balloon. That is great evidence. It's the same as yours. It's the same as yours.
However, your evidence doesn't hold up to scrutiny. That's the thing. Mine does.
What do you mean? What yours isn't holding up to scrutiny. You're not even letting me scrutinize it because you're protecting it by saying it's the accepted model.
See, you haven't presented anything to.
I presented that the Earth is observably flat.
No, I disagree. And why do you Why do you think it looks flat?
What do you mean? Why do I? Because I can fucking see it. Okay. Everything I look at. Now I go to the salt flat. Have you ever been to the salt flat?
Answer me this question.
Have you ever been to the salt flats?
Okay, land has contours. Curve? Land has contours, all right?
Yeah, but it's not a continuous curve.
Answer me this. Answer me a question. Answer me this question. Shh. Right hand. I'm going to tell you this once more. When I'm talking, you shut up. Okay? Right. Answer me a question. But this is how it's going to work, all right? There's going to be a question asked, and there's going to be an answer given. No bullshit, okay? On a globe, what would you expect to see from ground level?
The water rolling off of it to the bottom of the Earth and falling off.
Well, that's fucking stupid because north isn't up and south isn't down. But I'm talking about visually, what would you expect to see if, just for 1 second, play the hypothetical game with me, all right? And just accept for 1 second that the Earth is a ball with, a spheroid, an oblate spheroid with a circumference of approximately 25,000 miles, and you're standing on it. What would you expect to see from ground level?
I would expect to probably the curve and all the water rolling off to the bottom of the Earth.
Okay, well,
under my feet, all the water would be rolling.
None of those things is what our model would suggest. For instance, you would not. No, I'm talking. All right, I've asked you a question, and now I'm going to explain something.
I know, but you asked me for a hypothetical.
Yeah, and now I'm going to explain to you why you are wrong. Okay, now, the one thing that you wouldn't see at sea level is a curve like that, because what you're seeing, your horizon is basically a cross section of the sphere. That's what your horizon is. Approximately 3 miles from sea level, when you're from your eye height, is about 3 miles around you, a circle. So it's basically a cross section, and a cross section is 2D. It's a circle. So if you are on a ball of that size, with us being this size, you wouldn't expect to see anything apart from a flat line when you looked around 360 degrees, because that's how geometry works. Now,
I'd expect that on a flat plane too, right?
Okay, now, but that's where one holds up and the other doesn't, because once you start looking at geometry of the world as you move around, you can see that the possibility of it being a flat plane starts to fall apart when you start to actually scrutinize what happens. And you can do this as simply as driving towards a mountain, and the mountain will magically rise out of the ground in front of you. Then we can go into
hold on.
I'm talking. You don't interrupt me.
I know.
Right?
I want to address that. I want to address the mountain thing. I want to address the mountain thing. You're saying red, yellow, green. I know cause. You can't determine cause from looking at it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
is that... Yes, it is. You're saying, I see the mountain.
Listen.
Because of that.
You're putting words in my mouth, and listen.
No, that's exactly what you did.
Stop talking, and I will explain. Okay? I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is, let's say I'm looking at it from a completely... I don't know if the Earth's flat or round. Okay? And I'm thinking, right, well, I've got a list of possibilities of it being flat and possibilities of it being round. Now, as I drive towards that mountain and I see it rise out of the ground, I would look at my list of flat possibilities, and I would notice that, a mountain appearing out of the ground as I get closer to it doesn't really comport with the reality of Earth being flat. But if I look at my globe Earth and compare that to what's going on in reality right now, that actually matches the predictions that the globe would make. And that isn't proof of anything. That is just one particular evidence that reality matches with the globe and not Earth being flat.
No, that's you looking red, yellow, green, yellow, green.
I've just exactly explained to you.
No, you didn't. No, because all you did was... Hold on, let me finish. All you did was say it wouldn't work on a flat plane. That's all you said. You made a declaration without anything to back it up, and then said that means mine is right. So, but in my head, I'm going, if it was a curve, the mountain would angle towards us. It would angle away as it angles on the curve, but it doesn't do that. It is straight up and down.
But again, because
so there you go.
You would see 69 miles is 1 degree. You're not going to
but here's the thing. Hold on. Wait, so if it's 69 miles is 1 degree, that's such a small amount of relative Earthrise, correct? It's barely anything. It's almost a flat plane. So how does it block something? It's, for all intensive purposes, 0.1 degree on 300 square miles of a ball the size of the Earth is a flat plane. And you see the exact same thing, because what you would say is Earth curve, but it's not. So because on a flat plane, because on a section of the Earth that is as big as 300 square miles of flat plane, you will see things dip under the horizon, yet you know that is a square section of Earth. That disproves that the only way for something to rise up out of the horizon is curved. Therefore, it disproves that. Yes, it is. That's because
I'm sorry, but it's not. No, I didn't make a declaration, and don't talk over me whilst I make my explanation. Now, shush while I talk, please. Thank you. All right. I'm not making a declaration. I have gone into this with 2 data sets and possibilities. Everyone knows what would happen on a flat plane, and everyone knows what would happen on a globe. Okay,
a declaration. That's a declaration.
Okay, you have to be able to compare one with the other.
Is that not a declaration, though?
No, it's a No, there is no declaration. There is. I have possibilities of one. No, I'm talking. Don't interrupt me. No. Shh. All right, I'm going to mute you. If you I'll mute you if you keep over talking me. All right. Don't interrupt. When I'm finished with my point, you can talk. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is he gone?
Yeah, go.
Right, okay. All right. So, I'm not making a declaration. What I said was I went into that with an unbiased, mindset. I don't know if the Earth's round or if the Earth's flat. However, based on reality around us based on geometry, based on the law of angular perspective. You can do calculations and figure out what things should look like and appear to be on a flat Earth, and what things should appear to be and look like on a globe Earth. Walter Bislin has done an excellent job with his model that shows both being done.
Appeal to authority.
No, not appeal to authority. That's a tool. That's saying like using a ruler is appeal to authority.
No, you appeal to a person. You appeal to a person.
I appealed to Walter Bislin's curve calculator.
Yeah, he's a person. You're appealing to him.
Okay, so am I appealing to the first person that created a ruler when I use a ruler to measure a bit of paper? Don't be stupid.
He's not a measuring instrument.
But
so
I'm not talking about Walter Bislin. Okay, now again, you interrupted me. All right. I'm talking about his curve calculator, which is a tool, insomuch as this mouse in my hand is a tool. Okay. Now I can present all these things, and they comport with the reality of the Earth being a globe, but never do they comport with the reality of the Earth being flat. And that is just one example of what I'm talking about.
That's a declaration. You just made a declaration.
What I'm doing is looking at data and coming to conclusions.
No, you're making a declaration.
Right. So in your mind, is there any way to say or try and test anything without just making a declaration? Because this is the big thing that you flat earthers do, is just try and say, oh, well, that's making assumptions. Oh, well, that's a declaration.
Because that's what you're doing.
And the thing is, to actually start off with science, you kind of have to make some assumptions to begin with, to create a hypothesis that you then go ahead and try and disprove. Because
an observation is not a scientific experiment. An observation is not a scientific experiment. So when you observe a mountain, that's not a scientific experiment.
Doing observations can be scientific experiments because time can be an independent variable. So doing observations are.
I don't want to get into. Hold on. I don't want to get into the time.
We have moved away from the fact of me asking you questions, and that question you have not presented.
No, you made a declaration. I did. I said it's observably flat.
But and then I've just shown you how it is not.
No, you made a declaration and you said it wouldn't happen like this if the Earth was flat. It happens like this. And then you proceeded to just declare it.
No, I said that I would do calculations and try and figure out what would happen on both, and then look at the outcome and the data that I gather and see which reality closely. You don't interrupt me. When I'm talking, you don't talk. I will tell you when it's time to talk, okay? All right. When you look at the data and you come to conclusions, then what you do is you go with the thing that most closely models reality until something better comes along. And when we say model, that's what we mean. When we say predictive powers, that's what we mean. We can use the model to make predictions, to see how reality is going to work. And if you want to come along with the flat Earth, you not only need to have a model that can represent reality and make predictions about reality as well, but it needs to be able to do it better. You have not yet presented any evidence of the Earth being flat. Just saying it looks flat isn't evidence of that, because everyone else in the world can see that that's not evidence. The fact that you can go around the world and see different skies, the fact that things actually can be calculated with angular perspective, and you can look at mountains in the distance and see how big they're supposed to be based on if you're on a flat or a round Earth. And the data always comports with the globe Earth. Now, can you give me anything else other than it looks flat? Because that is the most basic, useless argument I have ever heard.
Would you say that when you determine how you see something at distance, you use the curve calculator?
I don't necessarily use the curve calculator, but if I was trying to figure out like how much of things I should see, I would use the curve calculator. I would take into account atmospheric refraction on the day. If I was specific, no, I'm not talking. What did we talk? What do we say when I'm talking? You don't interrupt. Let me finish my thought.
You're saying.
Let me finish my thought, and then you can say it. Okay. I wouldn't just use the curve calculator. If I was to personally do observations, I would take refractive indexes. I would take temperature of the time of day. I would look at the temperature of the water. I would look at temperature above the water. I would take into account all the factors myself. I personally wouldn't just use the curve calculator because, yeah, it's not going to be 100% accurate and take all the effects of atmosphere into account all of the time. However, when you do the calculations, and you actually take all these things into account, the only thing you get is the outcome of a globe.
Okay, so if so what you're saying is when you look and the curve calculator doesn't account for atmosphere, but then when you determine whether you see something, you do use
Well, the curve
atmospheric
calculator
conditions.
actually does have parts on it for atmospheric refraction.
How does it have parts when it is purely geometrical?
There's literally a selection on it to account. You can do
It's
two calculations. You can do for with or without atmospheric refraction.
But is it or is it not simply a line on a ball to a point and then down and then a mathematical formula for how much drop? Is that not what?
No, there's a lot more to the curve calculator than that.
So what else is there?
Well, like I said, there's the atmospheric conditions that it takes into account.
Where it doesn't take that. No, it says height, distance to object, and that's it. It doesn't take into account atmospheric conditions.
Do I have to go onto it right now and prove you wrong?
Yeah, bring it up. I mean, I've been to the curve calculator. It says viewing height, distance, and then it gives you the it's purely geometrical. Okay, so when you say I can use this to determine perspective, that's bullshit.
Okay,
that's a declaration.
If you go to the her curve calculator, there's actually parts on it for with standard refraction adjustments. But I'm looking at it right now.
Standard refraction is not that's not atmospheric conditions. Okay, so in here, let me ask you this: in a super heavy fog, can you see a 100-foot boat from 10 feet high at a mile away using your calculator?
Of course not. But the point is that let me respond.
No, but you're using
let
your
me
math.
Respond.
Can you use
right?
your math? Can you use your math? Yes or no?
What you can do is you can take everything else into account. Now, the curve calculator gives you a very good estimate for average conditions. Now, here's the thing.
How do you know average conditions aren't what's causing what you think is curve?
Because that doesn't work out when you do the math.
But here's the thing. The math is based on the observation. You don't know where the math comes from. That's the fake part.
Actually, the math can be verified.
Just because it works. Just because it works doesn't mean the cause is the reason. You can't look at the sky, declare red, yellow, green, and then say the cause. That's what you're doing.
Let me tell you.
What you're doing.
But I'm not arguing about the cause. I am simply saying.
You are though. You're saying the cause is curved.
You interrupt. You let me speak. I am not saying the cause. I am saying here's something that gives me a prediction. Ooh, that prediction is correct.
That's the cause. You're saying the cause to prove yourself.
No.
When you say that the Earth is curved, then it's
Let's
a ball.
Get back to your positive evidence
that's affirming the consequence. You're affirming the consequence.
That's a fallacy. Fallacy.
No, you're declaring the ball so that you can use the ball to prove itself.
Well done on your fallacy. If you're just going to keep declaring fallacies, that's fantastic.
That's what you're doing. You declare it a ball.
No, I'm not.
Give me.
Stop calling me hun. Stop calling me hun.
I'm saying hold on.
It really doesn't sound like you are.
Give me 10.
Right?
Give me 10. I'm saying hold on. Give me 10.
No, I want you to give me some actual positive evidence because everyone knows what I'm doing.
What you're doing. Yes, I know. And this is what you're doing. You're looking at something, you're making a declaration, and then you're saying, because these numbers fit, the cause is what I say it is. But that's not how it works.
No, I never said anything about a cause.
Yes, you are. Yes, you said the curve is the cause. That's what you're doing. You're saying the numbers prove the cause. You're saying the Earth is a ball. You're saying the numbers prove the cause. That's what you're doing, dude.
Right. What I'm doing is I'm saying that this can make a prediction that I can then go and measure myself.
No, that's math. And what you're doing is
verify it yourself. Now stop shifting the burden of proof and present some evidence.
I'm showing you how your evidence.
Right. Again.
When you say something disappears.
Stop talking 1 second. Let me make something clear to you. Okay. Presenting evidence is not attacking someone else's evidence. That's not how it works. You said it looks flat. I have explained how it is most certainly not flat based on what we look at around the world. I can present.
You're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. Stop talking
when
I'm talking. Yeah. Stop talking when I'm talking. Right.
And then you say it's atmosphere.
No, I can present plenty of evidence to show how the Earth. I'm going to mute you when I'm talking because it's really frustrating. Right. Okay. So I am going to. I can present plenty of evidence to show that the Earth is a curve, and I can match that evidence with many different models that can map out and show you what it should be. And the fact is that all these observations that we have, Soundy's observation of Lake Pontchartrain, Red Rhetoric's blink test at Tampa Bay, the observations of Mount Rainier, Miles Davis's observations at Terranlaw in Scotland, all these things, when you map them out, comport with the globe. And the thing about atmosphere is that it's not always going to be the same and give you the same results. However, when you map them out as a globe, you always get the same results. So it can't be atmosphere that's causing everything. You're muted right now, so I'm talking to the audience. It can't be atmosphere that causes everything when atmospheric conditions are so different all the time, yet there is particular observations that will always come out to match the globe. So he obviously doesn't have any positive evidence apart from it looks flat. So let's give him some evidence from my model and see what he does with it. I bet he's just going to shout fallacies. Right. Evidence.
No, hold on. We were talking about perspective. I want to stay on perspective.
No, I'm done with the conversation, particularly there because you lost that very hard. So I'm going to give you some of my evidences. You say it's a declaration, but we're moving on from that now.
But it is a declaration.
Right. So here is some evidence. Here is some evidence from my model that I would like.
Perspective again.
I'm actually giving you some
mute
evidence
me and I'll bring
now.
up perspective again.
No,
because here's what you're doing.
We're not talking. We've moved on. Right. Tell me what the law of perspective is.
No. You handpick
Tell me what the law of perspective is.
Okay, there is no law. You cannot
tell me what
make
the law of
a
perspective
law
is.
about visual. You cannot make a law about
the
visual.
law of perspective is alpha equals 2 times the arctan of g over 2r,
where
alpha is the angular size of the object, g is the actual size of the object, and r is the distance to the object. It's not a faith-based argument because I can look at the maths and do it and it works out. I don't have faith that 1 add 1 equals 2.
Fight the flat earth. Craig, listen to me.
No, I'm not listening to you. You're listening to me. Because what's happening now is I'm going to present some evidence and you're going to try and refute it.
That what you can see is because of curve. That is not evidence. That is making a declaration and that is affirming the consequence.
No, that's a fallacy. You don't understand what affirming the consequence means.
Look, you can say fallacy all you want, but what you're doing is
I'm going to mute him so that I can actually let the audience hear my evidence. Okay. Right. So, what should I go with? He doesn't believe that space is real. So how about we show him a rocket going into space with the gas showing that it's moving into a vacuum and see how he can say that that isn't a real thing.
Not scientific proof of anything. A video is not scientific proof of anything.
Whether you think it's scientific evidence or not, we're going to look at it and you're going to tell me what...
So that's all you have is things that are not scientific evidence. And then what you do is
whatever you say you think is not scientific evidence, that's fine.
Anything that is weak, you don't let people talk about. Your time dilation is weak. You don't have proof. You don't let people talk about it.
We have experimental evidence of time dilation.
No, you haven't done it.
When he keeps saying that I haven't done it, guys, that's what's called a genetic fallacy. So he basically thinks science only works when everybody does it. He thinks science only works when you have gone and done everything yourself. I'm going to go ahead and keep presenting him with some evidence, and we'll see what he says. Because I've answered his questions. So he's saying that it's not a fallacy, but it's a genetic fallacy, what he's doing. Right, I'm going to unmute you now, and I'm going to present you with some evidence, okay?
Okay, so if I told you I saw the Loch Ness Monster...
I'm presenting you with some evidence right now.
Would that be good? No, would that be good enough evidence?
I'm guessing that you don't know how conversations work. I'm now asking you questions.
Okay, I get it. Would you not need to see the Loch Ness Monster?
We're not talking about Loch Ness Monster.
But we are, because I can quantify the Loch Ness Monster.
I'm sorry, the conversation here is
but I can
the conversation here isn't about the Loch Ness Monster, so we're not talking about that.
It's about declarations and what you're doing in faith. You made a declaration.
So, if you go into the chat. All right.
If I said I saw the Loch Ness Monster,
listen, I'm talking. Shh. Listen, I'm talking.
But
listen to me. I'm talking. Listen to me.
You don't need to do something because somebody else did. Therefore, it's fact.
RTH, just shut up and listen to me. All right. I'm going to present you with some evidence.
But what your evidence is you not doing it. That's your evidence. Your evidence.
All right. Again, I'm going to present him with some evidence here. All right. for you guys in the chat, what I'm going to do is show you as well. All right. This is a video from Red's Rhetoric called Jade's Launch. And if you go to 3 minutes 30 in that video that I have put in the chat. All right. Now,
if you didn't do it,
RTH,
no has done it.
Right,
all you are doing is presenting
RTH, I'm talking. Now, listen.
So what
be a big boy, and you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. Right?
So what you're doing is presenting someone else's evidence and declaring it as fact.
I guess I'll just mute him until he's finished. Right. Now, he's going on about saying that it's a fallacy. Now, okay. Right.
Would be to vary the variable.
Now stop talking. Stop talking like a big boy and listen.
No, when you
stop talking,
then admit it's not a fallacy, and it's
no, because it is a fallacy. Now shush and listen. I want you to address what I am asking.
Then it's faith. If you haven't done it yourself, and all you have,
I want you to address what I am asking.
Done. If only
right the hand.
All you
shut
have,
up and listen.
All you have
right the hand.
Is your belief that somebody else did.
Do you see what he's doing? He literally can't answer questions.
No, I can. You can't address your faith. Right. You can't address that. What you do is you label anybody that questions your faith.
I'm muting him again. Right. Okay. Now, guys. Now, like I've said, if you go into that video that I presented. Hey, Pig, could you just mute him a second in the server so I can talk without him babbling in my ear? Right, thank you. Okay, so if everyone goes to that video that I put in the chat and looks at 3 minutes 30, what you will see is the gases coming out the back of the rocket are being illuminated by the sun. And you notice that as the rocket goes further and further up, the illumination of the gases shows that the gases are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You see here, it's about to, if you look at 3 minutes 43, it enters the next stage, and the gases coming out the rocket are so big and continue to grow that it shows that the rocket transitions from an atmosphere into a vacuum. This is direct evidence filmed by someone that I personally talk to on a nearly daily basis, showing that there actually is a pressure gradient to the point of 0 psi. Now, I would like Rightthehand to address this and tell me how this is not evidence for a vacuum of space being just outside of our atmosphere. He can get unmuted now. Right, Rightthehand.
Observations are not proof of causation.
That's not what I asked.
That's because you're saying I have an observation. I have a proof of cause. So
I didn't use the word proof at all. What I have asked you is...
You said this is how it is. When you declare it to be true,
do I have to mute you again? Because you're not actually listening to what's going on here.
I am listening.
I'm not making...
I'm listening to what you're saying.
Now, listen. I'm not making any declarations. I'm not making any grandiose claims. I am presenting you with some evidence. And I am saying that this...
You're making a claim.
I am saying this evidence presents this.
It's a claim.
Now, I would like you to tell me how this evidence does not comport with reality.
Because it's not evidence, it's an observation.
Whether you think it's an observation or not isn't the point here.
It's not whether I think it is an observation. You're observing it and nothing else. That's an observation.
Yeah.
When you do nothing but observe something, that's an observation. You did nothing but observe it. That's an observation.
Okay,
yes.
Well, I'm presenting you with this observation as evidence for our
an
model.
Observation is not proof of cause.
I'm not talking about proof of cause.
Okay, but you're giving me nothing.
I'm not talking about proof of cause.
You're giving me an observation.
Shut up and listen.
An observation is not evidence. You agree? You said that.
Right, listen. I am not talking about proof of cause or anything. I just want you to actually address something, okay? Actually have some intellectual honesty and address something that is put to you without claiming it's not science. I don't have to address that.
Something real. We'll present something real and I'll address it.
I want you to present what I've shown you. I want you to address what I've shown you.
All right, guys, with all the over talking, it's unbearable within the stream. You're unable to hear anything, so I brought in a moderator.
I never get to talk, man. I get two words out, and then he jumps in. It's very hard to make a point in 3 words.
That is why I am here now.
Okay.
So if he interrupts you when you are responding, right, I will cut Fight off, just as if Fight is in the middle of trying to explain something and you try to jump in, I will cut you off.
Can I also ask that you actually force him to address things that I put?
Oh, that is a big thing that I'm here for.
Now, address what I have presented, please.
What did you present? Can you present it again, because there was riffraff? So
okay,
start fresh. Give it.
Right, if you look in the chat of this stream, I'll do it in Discord. I'll just put it straight to you.
Room?
I'll just DM you. All right, there's a video. All right, I want you to go to that video.
Okay, a video is an observation.
I don't care. Right?
Okay.
I want you to go to that video.
What do you want me to do with this observation?
I want you to look at the observation and tell me how it is not evidence for what I am saying. And I want you to actually address it.
What are you saying that video is evidence of?
Well, you obviously didn't listen, so I will say it again. Now, if you watch this video from around about 3 minutes 30, 3 minutes 40 as the next stage goes, you will see the gas being emitted out the back of the rocket is being illuminated by the sun.
How do you know that's gas by an observation?
I'm talking.
How do you know it's gas by an observation?
Right. Again.
You need to let him finish the explanation before you butt in. If you have a clarifying question, make a note of it when he is done presenting this piece of evidence. You can criticize it then.
Okay, so as you watch the video, you see that it was in a particular position that the sun illuminated the gases coming out the back of the rocket. And what you can see is as the rocket gains altitude, the gases coming out the back expand more and more and more. Now, what this is evidence of is that we have a pressure gradient. And if you watch the video, you see the gases get to such a point where you can't even really see them anymore because they're expanding so much, showing that the rocket has transitioned into a practical vacuum. Now, this is evidence that was recorded by someone that I personally know, that Jared personally knows, that Pig personally knows. We can verify it's real because he has actually sent me the raw files from his memory card for me to use in a video. So I am presenting this of evidence of our model that we live in an atmosphere that has a vacuum outside of it. Please tell me how that is not true.
Okay, so I just watched this video on a 2D screen. Yeah, true or not true? I just visually witnessed what your friend witnessed on a small scale on my screen through technology.
Yes.
Okay, so how is it not possible that he just did the exact same thing live? That's why observations are not proof of causation.
Right, that's not actually answer. Okay, I'll ask it again because you obviously missed the point there. So
no. I just made the point. You're looking at it and you're declaring it.
You didn't address.
I did. You looked at it. I saw it. Siegely. I see it on my computer screen right now. I see it on my computer screen. That's not a live event. That is a pre-recording. That's a rendition. So if I can see a rendition of what he saw in reality on a piece of technology I'm holding in my hand, I'm pretty sure a larger piece of technology can render it in reality. Without proof of causation, you are just witnessing something, an observation.
I'm going to ask the question again because it was obviously completely ignored.
I have a clarifying question. Are you asking for the raw data itself? Are you asking for
No.
I can send you the raw data.
No, yeah, but I'm not denying that he didn't video something. I'm not denying it. Clearly, you have a video of something. What I'm saying is you don't know what you have a video of just by taking a video of it. Because I'm looking at it on my... Hold on, let me finish. And because I can look at it on 2D on my screen through a piece of technology. So if I can look at it through a piece of technology right now, through a minor piece of technology, I'm pretty sure a major piece of technology can render that in real time in the sky. Easy. And here's the problem. I can declare that based on an observation, and it will fit perfectly because a rendering will fit perfectly. So predictive observations are not proof of causation. Because my predictions match. My prediction match.
If I could respond to that particular thing he said, please.
One second, fight. I'm trying to get him back onto the actual question. So, the actual question was not whether or not you accepted the authenticity of what was being shown. The question you were asked is, how does what is seen not fit the standard model of the Earth being a sphere with a pressure gradient of decreasing pressure as you increase in altitude?
Okay. When I'm looking at my cell phone, am I witnessing gas or am I witnessing pixels?
That's not what we're asking you.
No, that's
right the hands. Let me clarify something for you here. We are not asking if you believe if that is a real rocket or not. We're not asking that because we don't care. Please don't talk over me. Please don't talk over me. Please don't talk over me. All right. Please don't talk over me for the last time. All right. I'm really trying to hold my patience with you because everyone knows that I can get very angry and I haven't done yet. So don't make me. All right.
No, anger is good. That means you don't have anything else.
No, it means you're being a cockwaffle.
No, don't blame me.
Let me respond to what you were saying.
If you get angry, it's on you. It's not on me.
Let me respond to you without you being a cockwomble, as Jared very well put it there. Now, the validity of what we're watching isn't in question here. Now, just assuming
it's not. I'm not.
You're talking over me again.
No. But I'm agreeing.
Hang on.
I'm agreeing with him. I'm agreeing. We
you
both
can
agree.
You can agree in silence as he is continuing his point.
Right. So, I just want you to address that as if it is what we're saying it is, without just assuming that it's a magic hologram or something. I just want you to address how that would be possible if the Earth was flat and we didn't have.
I'm telling you how it's possible, and you just deny it.
Last interruption.
By saying it's a hologram, it is not telling me that. And here's the thing about saying it's a hologram.
No, I'm providing evidence.
Here's the thing about saying it's a hologram is that
I didn't say it was a hologram.
Reds has actually recorded it from recently recorded a launch from. You're interrupting me. Reds has recently recorded a rocket launch similar, and they actually recorded it from launch all the way up to the boosters separating and watching the boosters come down and land in one continuous shot. That there was thousands of people there watching it. It was recorded by many, many people. These things are not projections. These are actual rockets that are physical things that have been verified by someone being up close and physically recording what is going on. So now we're not going to discuss whether you think or not the rocket is real. I just want you to address the gas expanding out the back of that rocket into what appears to be a vacuum and how that would comport with the flat Earth model.
I'll address both points. So first, we know there's a pressure gradient. So even if gas is expanding, that doesn't prove space. That just proves the pressure gradient. And two, when you witness something, okay, and I just want to clarify it again. You cannot prove causation. Yes, your friend was there. Yes, he witnessed something, but he didn't touch it. He didn't get up close and personal. He didn't interact with it. So he doesn't know what it is, okay? Red, green, yellow. You can't prove cause from observation. And then on top of that, the flat...
It's right, Jared, I've got this.
And even on top of that, you would still expect expansion. And you're not even sure you saw... So here's my 3 points. 1, even on a flat contained Earth with a pressure gradient, you would have the expansion of gas. 2, you don't even know if it's an actual rocket with actual gases. It might be an actual rocket with fake gases. 3, those 2 will work.
Okay, right. Let's first go with the fact that you said flat contained with a pressure gradient. Well, no, that's completely 100% impossible because the laws of entropy say that you would not have a contained environment with a pressure gradient going from 14.7 psi to 0 psi. That is 100% impossible in a contained environment. Now, so you also said there that Reds didn't personally go and touch the rocket. Well, that again is just a genetic fallacy. I know that rocketry is a real thing. I know that people have to actually build and engineer these rockets. So you can just claim fake as much as you want. You also said that yes, there's a pressure gradient, but how does that prove that space is out there? Well, frankly by the fact that there's a pressure gradient. Unless you can tell me some logical reason why that pressure gradient would just literally stop for no reason, then we have to assume that the pressure gradient continues until it reaches the point of a practical vacuum. It's not completely 0 psi. It's space isn't a perfect vacuum. We know that, but the fact is that the pressure gradient continues, and unless you can tell me for some reason why it's just going to stop, then it becomes a pretty much a vacuum. Got any other points for me to destroy?
Okay, so let me sum up your entire argument. We assume.
No, we have explanations that can be backed up by math.
No, you just said we assume it goes to 0, and that's where everything just fell apart.
Nope. If you want to tell me why the pressure gradient is just stopping randomly, then
I'm not
I'll ask.
claim. You are. So you need to provide the evidence.
You agreed there's a pressure gradient.
You made the claim. No. But you made the claim it goes to 0 or almost 0. So show me that. Provide evidence for that. You're making baseless claims, and then when somebody goes, hold on.
Wait. You're asking me to respond. You're asking me to respond.
He's interrupting me, Mod. He's interrupting me.
Sorry, you asked me to explain.
I didn't get my point off. Mod, help me out.
You did. You did get your point out.
Man,
you asked for it.
Right.
Your point was to ask for evidence, and then you continued to ramble on.
No.
So if you would like
interrupted. I didn't make my point on what the evidence was, or.
No, you said that I didn't present any evidence of it going up to a vacuum, whereas actually the video I presented you is evidence of the fact that the pressure gradient continues until you reach a practical vacuum. That video is evidence that you say doesn't exist. So, next.
Hang on, and before I unmute you, I am clarifying the point on why I did not intervene, because you asked for evidence and did not allow the response. You continued to waffle on. If you would like the evidence to be presented, ask for it and then wait for the response.
I'm seeing the evidence. The evidence is his observation and his declaration. That is not evidence. Okay? I don't understand how he's getting away with this. Why can't I just declare that it was a hologram? That is the exact same thing that he's doing. He's doing the exact same thing he's looking at it and making a declaration with nothing other than, well, but it works. That's just a declaration on observations. Red, yellow, green, predictions. He sees a video of a holographic or something he doesn't even know what it is, and he declares
I know exactly what it is.
It's crazy. No, you don't. You think you do. Because here's the thing, you didn't invent the ball earth model. You are nothing but a middleman between Google. So you don't have an original no, that's not it. No, that's the truth. Nothing no, it is.
You are attacking the source, not the argument.
So we're not allowed to attack the source because the source has been established, so we can't attack it. That's science. That's what science says. Don't attack the source because it's been proven it's the source. Logical fallacy. You can't attack the source. Logical fallacy.
No.
That's what you're telling me.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. You are having a discussion with Fight the Flat Earth.
And he's using other people's claims to back himself up, and that's not
fallacy.
Here's the thing. Attack the argument. Don't attack the evidence. Don't attack the source. By saying he is a middleman between Google and this conversation, you are attacking the source, not the evidence itself, not the argument itself. You are trying to dismiss it.
I'm just asking him to prove it. And what you'll do is then you'll say, I don't need to prove it.
Science doesn't concern itself with proofs.
See, and that's what he does. So he'll say, it's been established, right? So it's been established. We've done no observations, no experiments right now. The only thing that has happened hold on, let me finish. I'm talking. The only thing that has happened as of right now something has been established by other people. Okay, that all that has happened. And then what he's going to do is say these declarations that those people made are right. And I'm going to say, well, I would like to scrutinize them. And he says, and then he'll go, genetic fallacy, you can't. And how is this a debate? How is this a conversation when any scrutinization of anything that is weak or iffy just gets hidden behind a fallacy? That's not science.
You haven't scrutinized anything. You've just said I don't agree that is not an evidence.
No, you're just saying I
don't agree that you're just claiming. So right.
No, you're just claiming you accept what you're given. So, how is that any different than what I'm doing?
Because I can actually back up what I say with maths that I know that works.
But you can't do those experiments.
Now let's move on to another question because you obviously lose on that point as well.
No.
Moderator, I'm going to move on because I think we've bashed this on the head enough.
We agree that.
Yeah, we agree that you're a moron. That's correct. All right, so let's go with another piece of evidence that the Earth is, in fact, a spinning globe. And I am going to say that that is Polaris and the Southern Cross being two separate points in the sky that have separate rotation, clockwise and counterclockwise. This could not be possible on a flat stationary Earth. It is only possible on a globe. Our axis of alignment is currently with Polaris and the Southern Cross. The precession of Polaris is a well-registered and documented thing. You can look in almanacs and see in about 26,000 years, the North Star will be a different star. These observations are evidence that we live on a spinning globe because they are completely impossible on a flat Earth.
Okay, so all you're doing is making declarations and then saying they're impossible on a flat Earth. That's all you're doing. And that's all this is. That's all this is. This is you. Let me finish. I didn't get to finish. All he is doing, he's saying, I have this machine over here, Google, the Larna, whatever it is. It says this. It's correct. You can't question it. Anything you question with it is wrong because this model is correct. Logical fallacy. So he is closing the debate before it has been opened because he is saying his model is correct. And all he's doing is just spewing a line of information, but I can't attack any of the information because it's a logical fallacy. So
he didn't attack any of the information.
Sorry,
my bad.
All he is doing is just bum rushing me with information that is not his, that he did not gather, that he did not do, declaring I can't scrutinize it because logical fallacy, and then asking me to come up with another explanation that he will declare wrong because his model is right, but I can't question it because it's a logical fallacy. That's what we've got.
No, here's the thing. You can scrutinize the evidence, but do so without committing a logical fallacy.
But here's the problem.
Hold on. I am giving you a tip. I am trying to help you in this. Listen to the advice that is being given, and it may actually help you get somewhere in this. You can scrutinize the evidence, but do not do so while committing a logical fallacy yourself. 1. 2, when you are presented with something that has a viable explanation from the model you are trying to counter, you do have to, by saying it's not that, you do have to attempt, at least make an attempt, to explain how this observation can happen if that is not the case. You do need to try to provide a counter other than they're lying, it's fake, it's technology. Try to come up with something viable to counter that is not a logical fallacy, and you will not have the problem of people calling you out on that.
But
so,
hold on.
Wait, it's my turn to speak. My turn to speak. Right. The evidence this time is the fact that we have 2 points of rotation. Okay, I'm not making a logical fallacy. I am stating something, a fact. I am making a claim that there are 2 points of rotation. I haven't finished talking. I haven't finished talking. All right. That it is a 100% fact that there is 2 points of rotation on this planet. I have personally seen both of them. I have crossed the equator and watched Polaris disappear and a second point of rotation appear in the sky. I'm not making any random claims about somebody else. This is something that I have personally seen, and so has billions of other people around the planet. There is 2 rotational points in the sky. One goes around Polaris, one goes around the Southern Cross. They go in opposite directions. If you could please explain to me how this is possible on a flat stationary Earth, I would be greatly appreciative.
Okay, so this is what ball earthers do. He just said 100% this. Then he said, you need to explain it. So what they'll do is they'll say, if you attack anything I say, it's a logical fallacy. Anything you say to explain it, I'll say it's wrong because my model says it's right. You can't attack my model because it's a logical fallacy. And that's where we're at. Anything I say that, and anything to question, anything in your model, you say it's a logical fallacy because it's been proven by somebody else and I don't need to prove it. Then when I present any evidence to the contrary, you'll just say your evidence is wrong because something I didn't do is right by somebody else. I have logic, and that's all it is. All it is you making declarations on behalf of somebody else, not providing any evidence outside of observations, but not proof of causation. You can't prove the like, here's the thing. If I can see 2 points of rotation on my cell phone in a pattern like the sky, you can see it in the sky. That doesn't prove causation. If my cell phone screen can present Neptune and its orbits that I can see in reality on my screen, then the sky can do that. And then when you just make a declaration about the sky, you're committing the logical fallacy. So it's like, and this is all it is. This has just been nonstop. You make a declaration. You
okay, if
then
I
you
can
say
respond,
I can't attack it. Yes, yes.
Respond?
Please do something with that.
If I can respond,
All
right.
Before you respond,
I don't want to lose my train of thought.
I have a simple question for Right the Hand.
I'll write it down.
Right the Hand. Were you paying attention to the advice I gave you?
Yes, and I don't care because this is the point. This is the point. No, hold on. Let me finish. Because he's protecting. No, I care about the truth. And when you say you cannot attack it, that's not scientific method. That's not science. That's not curiosity. Yes, you are. You're saying I cannot ask any questions because it has been established by scientific consensus. And I need to come up with an alternative theory, which you will then dismiss because yours is right, because I couldn't prove yours was wrong, because I have to commit a logical fallacy to question it. That's what you guys do. And I knew I was wondering how he was going to get out of this, and it is he gets out of it by not declaring it faith, but a logical fallacy to question it. So he doesn't have faith in everything. It's a logical fallacy to question. Yes.
If I can respond, please respond. If I can,
no,
please
I know
respond.
what you're going to say. I know what you're.
Okay, right. Now shut up and let me respond. Okay. Apart from the fact that you made a bunch of claims there about things, I am not making a simple claim that can't be backed up by everybody else. And asking you to give me an alternative explanation isn't committing a logical fallacy. It is asking how this would be possible on a model that you subscribe to. Whereas in my model, I can explain exactly how those rotations occur. However, what you have just said is, yeah, that can happen if the sky's a screen. So you there are making the claim that the sky is a screen, which I would need you to back up. But that doesn't really meet the point of you addressing the fact that the observations of two rotating points in the sky of circumpolar stars comports with the reality that we live on a spinning globe with these stars in the universe around us. So what I would very much like for you to do is, I'm going to say that your answer to my question about the stars is that the sky is a screen. So I would now like you to present me with some evidence that the sky is a screen.
Okay, so the evidence for the sky being the screen is the exact same evidence that you have for being in outer space. It's us both standing on the ground, observing it, and saying, look, we see lights. They're both the exact same.
Okay, except I can back up that space is real. I can show evidence that space is real. Don't overtalk me. Don't overtalk me. I can present many evidences that show that space is real and that there isn't a big screen in the sky. Because if there was a big screen in the sky, that rocket that you watched go up would have smashed into a big screen. There isn't, you can't just make a claim and say that because that's what I see, because I can actually back up my claim of it not being a screen and being a vacuum with many evidences that you will just dismiss because I haven't seen them myself. But that's not really the point. Everyone can see who's being the moron here. So your claim of it being a screen needs to be substantiated with more than, well, it looks like a screen to me. Because that's literally your only argument is it looks flat or the sky looks like a screen. But
literally your only argument
now,
is
if you could please substantiate the fact
screens are real. Look down at your cell phone. That screen is real. So screens are real. Orbital mechanics is not real. So I have more evidence for my claim than you do for yours.
Wait, orbital,
wait,
I'm talking.
Objects in reality orbiting each other. I can show you a screen in reality.
Right,
I'm winning. You can't. No, you can show me lights orbiting each other, which can be displayed
I'm still on the screen thing. All right. The sky, a screen that large does not exist anywhere. The largest screen. I haven't finished talking. I haven't finished talking.
You committed a.
All right. Okay. So the largest current screen was a screen that Sony showed at the Tokyo of technology show a few months ago that is, I think, just over 1,000 foot, and it goes along the entire wall. That is the biggest commercial screen in the world, apart from cinemas and things like that. So the technology for a screen that large doesn't exist anywhere in the world unless you can present me with evidence of that technology existing. Can you?
Sorry,
hold on.
There you go.
So wait, no, all he does is he goes, that's a logical fallacy when you say it cannot be. That's a logical fallacy.
I didn't say anything about logical fallacy.
You did. Yes, you did. You said it cannot be.
That is saying that by hang on
from ignorance. How can you just
really?
Say, well,
you're going to interrupt me when I'm trying to clarify and help
it can't be a screen because I say so. That's what.
No, I'm actually asking you to present evidence of there being
a
giant screen that big. My cell phone is evidence of a 7-inch screen. It is not evidence that there is
a screen. It's evidence of a screen. You don't have any evidence of orbital mechanics.
Oh, actually, I do have evidence of orbital mechanics because you can just go and look at the Jovian moons of Jupiter, and
but those are lights on a screen. So what are the lights on a screen? You're using your
stop interrupting. No, if you want me to respond, then you need to stop talking over me. I can prove that the fact that is evidence of orbital mechanics because the fact that, well, proof is the wrong word there. I'm going to correct myself. I can give evidence of orbital mechanics being a real thing by looking at the Jovian moon systems, and by looking at our own moon system and looking at our solar system, and the fact that the predictions from the model that we have and the maths based around orbital mechanics work out all of the time. The fact that we know how to put things into geostationary orbit, for instance, direct satellite TV, Sky TV in the UK, they have satellites that are in orbit 37,000 miles up, I think, because that's the only height that altitude that you can have for a geostationary orbit. So orbital mechanics is a real thing because I've watched Sky TV, and without orbital mechanics I wouldn't have been able to get my satellite television.
All right, so give me 30 seconds. This is my last comment because clearly this is going nowhere. I'm going to sum it up for the audience in what my take on everything, okay? So in that entire last rant, you said, I know satellites are real because I get satellite TV. Again, what you do is you make an observation, okay? You get a TV image. You don't know the source or origin, and then you make a declaration that it comes from space. And then hold on, let me finish. This is my last thing. So when you said, I have proof of orbital mechanics, and you say, look up at the sky, that's proof of orbital mechanics. But I'm saying you can look at lights on a screen that orbit, and that's the exact same thing. And your proof that it's not that is that it is itself. You're saying it can't be the thing on a screen because look at it, it's going round and round. That means it's orbital mechanics. But I can see that exact representation on a screen. So it can't be orbital mechanics, and that's the logical fallacy you commit. You say it must be this when it can be something else on a screen, and then you say it must be it because we see it happening the way I say it. It's absolute nonsense.
Okay, right. That's his 30 seconds.
On. You say you see
no, you've had your 30 seconds. I'm going to respond to that.
No, let him keep digging. Aw, he ran away. Because here's the thing. I was going to ask him that how can it be just simply images on a screen when the first telescopes predated cell phones and computers and screened technology.
I was getting there.
How many hundreds of years?
I was getting there. This is what I was trying to push him with the proof of that technology existing, because his answer to everything was, well, it could be something else. Well, it could be something else. Well, it could be something else, with no kind of nothing to back it up in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I think I'm going to read out super chats, and then I might start up another hangout for a little after show and have a talk about Right the Hand and how MC Toon is going to destroy him on Saturday. Anything you want to say first, Jared?
Well, so I did miss the beginning of this because I was out doing things with the wife. Now, I have a question. Did he try to quote mine, that one that I warned you about? Because I missed probably the first 45 minutes of it.
Which one?
The whole thing about time dilation.
Oh, yes.
And accepting it because of fate.
Yeah, and I literally had a list of experimental tests of time dilation ready for him. So yeah, I nipped that in the bud straight away. Just his smoking gun. There is literal proof of it all around. The fact that GPS systems work is evidence of time dilation. So, anything else?
No, well, and to that, I would like to point out to the audience that in that, the quote mine, did you read the entire quote with context? Because I think they might get a kick out of that one.
All right. So, let me read it. Where is it? Apparently,
well, I have it right here.
All right,
so,
yeah, you go.
So when it came to the time dilation topic, earlier this morning, Rightthehand, myself, and a few others were having a conversation about it here on the Discord server, during which he kept trying to go, oh, we only accept it on faith. To which I decided to lay a trap. I decided to see how intellectually honest this person was by answering a question of his, factually accurate, but intentionally misusing one word with another one which would be more suiting. So the comment that I made that he decided to wonderfully quote mine, as I expected, was, you know what? You're almost right, Rightthehand. I have faith in the data that I've personally interacted with and how it fits into the tested and verified models that explain reality. Now, if you notice, he only went with, I have faith. Now, I intentionally used faith instead of the more accurate term, trust, to see if he would do that. And what do you know? He did, displaying this person has no integrity and no intellectual honesty.
Yeah. So I pretty much knew how that was going to go because, like I said, I listened to the entire 4-hour debate that he had with Planner Walk on his Planner Walk's live thing. And if you guys haven't subscribed to Planner Walk, by the way, most definitely do that. I think he's actually one of the best like debunkers out there, globe earthers out there. NASA pay him.
Ahoy hoy.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Hey, Planner Walk. I would say to you, I watched that entire 4-hour debate, and I understand why he thinks he won it, because he kind of controlled the conversation, but every answer you gave completely destroyed everything that he was saying. And that's why I wanted to go into this with no, we're not going to talk about faith. We're not going to talk about what you think science is. We're going to actually talk about physical evidences. And I wanted to hold him to that. And I think everyone saw that he didn't have anything to present. His argument was, it looks flat, or the sky could be a screen. Right?
Mm. There were times in the debate when I was trying to get him to present evidence because especially when it came to the whole dome thing, one of the things that I was saying is that you've got no proof of a dome. You're assuming based on things that, you do an experiment, but that experiment, if you take away the container that you've got the pressure in, you'd still have pressure there. So therefore, it's not proof that you need a container for all pressure because you'd still have pressure there.
Yeah.
No matter where you go.
Exactly. I mean, if he was going to go on to the pole pressure thing, I was going to bring up Team Skeptic's argument of soda hexafluoride being in a container without a top, and the fact that there's pressure there. He doesn't have any arguments. He clearly knows absolutely nothing about science, and will just revert to the genetic fallacy of, you didn't do it yourself, so how can you verify it? Therefore, it's faith. And that's ridiculous, because what does he think we've all got to do everything ourselves? Otherwise, we can't talk about it. Like, where can you go from that?
Yeah, I think MC Toon pointed out that it's he relies on zeticism or something like that.
Yeah, very much so. So he doesn't even really have a scientific method.
Because I mean, and when he brings up faith, it's one of them things which it's you've got to have, because when I use faith, I usually see it as belief without evidence, but I think he uses the more colloquial term of trust.
Yeah.
Or that would be the better way to describe his definition of faith, which is not a good definition, because I trust my senses, that doesn't mean that I have faith in my senses.
No.
Well, and here's the thing is he stuck to using the term faith after I limited the definition to belief in religious or belief without evidence.
Mm-hmm. And that was my argument to him at the beginning, was that we don't need to have faith in science because we can just look at the data and come to a conclusion.
I need to interrupt. Hey,
Yeah?
I'm going to move you to the room Rightthehand in.
We're going to what now?
I'm going to move you to the room Rightthehand in. He decided to go into the hub voice chat room instead of the debate room.
Okay, I'm going to read out some super chats. Give me 1 sec to get them up. Okay, 666 from Rangerman9404. Wait, you're debating Hamburger Helper. Yeah.
No, he's having a talk, dude. All you do is make a declaration.
Here he is,
he makes a
declaration man.
About the sky. He makes a declaration about the sky, and then anytime somebody wants to question it, he says it's a logical fallacy.
Tell me this, big boy. What screens did they have like when telescopes were invented? What screens were in the sky then?
Clearly, whoever made the Earth can make a better screen than man can.
Oh, right. So you're going with the big magic maker man in the sky, and you're talking about faith.
You're looking at the sky and making a declaration.
Let's carry on with the super chats. Sexy81, $1. Thank
That's
you.
all he wants.
Casual Spaceman, cracking job, FTFE, keeping off faith and semantics as he always does. He's not getting away with it. Keep pressing him. Yeah, because all he's got is semantics and saying the word faith. £10, thank you very much. $5 from Sif, red, yellow, green, Rightthehand, can you at least get traffic lights right? Green, yellow, red. $2 from the Sexy81, let RDH speak, sound like Nathan, this is pointless. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did talk over him a little bit because it was extremely frustrating. Very thankful for Jared coming in there. Cajun Crustacean, $2. I sense the need for ding ding ding. Yeah, where's Team Skeptic when you need a dinger? Rapid X, €2.29, dumpster fire guaranteed. Tatted Philosophy, $2. Why are you debating Hamburger Helper? That's the second one. Creative Nothing, $5. Rightthehand has fallen into the trap of solipsism. I feel bad for him, to be honest. Canny Teray, $5. Loving your fighting spirit, Craig. You're doing humanity a service. Pinning him down, making the down force your bottom. I enjoy doing this. $2 from Just Space, comma. £10 from Sarcastic Barman. Who built the screen and when and why did no one notice? God, I think is his answer to that. Flint Reed, £2. Hashtag bitch made cockwaffle. Yes, indeed. $2.29 from Rapid X. Bitch made. Great job, Craig. £1.99 from Pine Snake. Did the mod say he was dogging? And $4.99 from Uhan Roderick. Long time non-sec live viewer. First time FTFE live viewer. Keep up the good work, sir. You're doing a mighty fine job. Thank you very much, everyone, for the super chats.
You might be getting another one.
Okay. I think what we could do is go over to Discord and have an after show on there if everyone wants.
I'll go ahead and post a link in the live chat.
Yeah, cool. Thank you guys for watching. To let you know what's coming up this week, me and Godless Engineer are doing a collaboration on JM Truth's episode of Flerfs Are Idiots. I've got another comment show coming up, and I'm interviewing George Musser tomorrow, but that's not going to be shown until May the 20th on Sleeping Warrior Week. And if you want to help with Project Aristophanes to measure the circumference of the planet, if you are in Montreal, New York City, California, Lima, or pretty much anywhere in Mexico, then send me an email at fighttheflatearth@gmail.com. And remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.